YN7, thank you for tuning. Ain't even going. We're gonna be brief today. We're gonna be brief. Got something to do in a couple minutes. I got a meeting. Just wanted to. It's an amazing thing to interact with people because interacting with people is one of the best ways to learn about yourself and the world. Now, some of y'all ain't worried about learning about the world because you ain't doing shit. And I don't mean that in a negative way. What I mean is you're not trying to bring about any change. You want to keep things the same. You're playing things safe. You know what I mean? Like you're just enjoying the way the fucked up world is right now because you think you found this little niche of enjoyment. That's cool. This may not apply to you. But the question today is, how many ounces are in a cup? And I'm going to show you for many of you how what separates us from where we're at today and the greatness that our society should be working towards. And the first thing that we need to do to get on that journey is to admit that we don't know what we don't know as a whole. So here, let's go over the poison, the gift and the curse, right? So here we go with, let's see if it'll show like this. All right, cool. Let's rock it like this. So on YN7, you've seen that we've talked about this before. This is the book Power vs. Force by David Hawkins. And you've seen this graph before, many of you, I'm sure. And a lot of times people just didn't know that this is the book that it came from. This is the source of the information, which kind of ironically is what we're talking about here today. So you've seen it in color form where they have different levels, the numbers. It starts with shame and guilt and apathy and goes up to enlightenment, and they have numbers. They calibrated human emotion. They gave it numerical values and put it on a chart or a graph or whatever, right? A tier. Well, this is the issue with society, right? Is if you don't know what you don't know, which is really everybody, but how many people can start and say to themselves they don't know what they don't know? That's problem number one, right? That's really the ultimate problem. Because how far can the human eye see? I would even have to Google that right now. But how far can the human eye see? Matter of fact, you gotta excuse me. I'm just, when I have a question, I kind of want to know. I know some people go with what they believe, right? But let's see what we know. How far can the human eye see? And we know this may not be exact. I'm just going to grab the first okay, so the claim is, and I'm not saying this is true, because here's Pasha's thing. I just did a quick Google search. This is not an expanded study, but and with that said, the first few websites, first 5 or so, is pretty much giving feedback with 2 to 3 miles being the distance that the human eye can see. And some is blaming that on the curvature of the earth, which who knows if that's true or not, whatever. But they're saying 2 to 3 miles, right? So my point is, if you can only see 2 to 3 miles, then you have to have trust in what's beyond your field of vision, right? The question now is are you trusting in a belief, or are you trusting in knowledge of? And that's what causes problems with society, right? See, I'm not saying I live in enlightenment full time. Like, I'll be having my moments. but you bounce back. You got a buoyancy. So those who have a natural buoyancy, enlightenment, and the omnipresence, the connection with the infinity, the truth. You've been to a different city before. You share comments and feedback about your experience today based on your knowledge of what it was when you went. You are trusting that it is still the same. Versus someone who hasn't been can only talk about what they believe it to be. Now, the question is, how do you define been there? Did you compile a summary of 5,000 people who went and start to look at what the similar information was and said, okay, I don't know everything, but we can trust that 97% said this about it from whatever their perspective was, we can assimilate that to be fact? Or are you basing it off of what one person says? See, that's gossip, hearsay. That's why somebody come to you talking shit about, let's say Pasha, you be like, oh yeah, they get you emotionally charged. Now you don't want to talk to Pasha because you believe what someone else said, or someone don't want to talk to you because they believe what someone said about you and they never even talk to you themselves. They don't know shit about you. They don't know shit about you. They believe because it made them feel good to believe that. Probably made them feel better about themselves. But anyway, look, here's the thing. So one can't see, right? When you're living in shame, when you're living in fear, you can't see enlightenment because it's more than 3 miles away. So when someone speaks to you from the enlightenment arena, you feel some type of way if you're not of the mindset of knowing that you don't know what you don't know. Now your emotions fuck with you. You want to say they're talking down to you. No, yeah, well, technically, yeah, because they're talking to you on a lower level of consciousness. So you feel like they're talking down to you because that's what lower level vibration is. They look for what's wrong instead of what's right. Shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, all of that's talking about what's wrong instead of the opportunity that's existing at the same time, what's right. Again, I made a post on Facebook. If you're not following me on Facebook, hop on there. It's Pasha Pyro. Everywhere. Put it in Google. The whole knowledge panel pops up. Now, why is this important? I'm gonna share with you why it's important, and then I'm gonna get up out of here. What does it look like in real life? This is what it looks like in real life. It looks like this. See, this is common sense. This is what common sense looks like. Doesn't it look so inviting and friendly, right? It's bustling. It's the heat of the night. It's surrounded by people. It's busy. It's activity. Yeah. This is a great feeling when all you know is common sense. But what you know is that on this ground level is a bunch of different shit that you know nothing about. You don't know nothing about that person in the blue jacket, in the on the left, the right, the chick with the shorts on. You don't know if they true, false, a liar. You don't know nothing about them. That's common sense. But it looks so good and friendly. When you look up above you, you see the lights in the building, right? That's the lights of others above. That's the higher levels, let's say, representing it. If this was a tarot reading, you have the light enlightenment of others on different levels. Now, how do you feel about that? Do you see that as an opportunity to learn, or are you going to say they looking down on you? Well, you're the one on the street level. So it might be true. It might be a true statement. But the question is, are your emotions getting in the way of the opportunity for you to join them? So you go, you start to get your own little level. Now what happens is you on top of a 6-story apartment. You got the apartment building on top. You got the penthouse on a 6-story apartment. The people in the building, they look up to you because you're on the top floor. But it's only 6 floors high. But now your ego all fucked up because you're on the top floor of 6 floors, so you feel like you the shit. Right? Who can tell you what? This is the view you got. Right? Then you got someone who's on the 28th floor talking to you, and you get emotional about what they saying and how they saying it because you can't see from their level what they're sharing with you. So fuck your head up. Then you talk shit about them. Oh, they looking down on me. Yeah, they are, because right there, you this building right here, they looking down, you in the top floor, but their view, they see you and they see the whole bigger picture of the horizon that you can't see. But see, here's what makes a difference. You see this building right here? This person here has the opportunity, just like you did, to say, wow, look at the top of that building. They're up there. What can I learn from them? And maybe you learn that how they got there is a path that ain't morally for you. So you good with the climb you going on. Or maybe they have information that can help you, so you want to learn that too. But the question is, do you say to them, because they're up there, they're looking down on you? Or when they talk to you, do you get judgmental about how they said it because you don't realize that their perspective is greater, their field of view is greater? So now you all emotional. And what happens when you go out here to the moon? See? Then they want to be like, oh, you all on the moon all the time. You can't connect with us down here on the ground level. Motherfucker got a telescope. Motherfucker got a UFO. We be down there. The problem is we see it all when we want to see it all because we don't have to go anywhere from being on the moon. The world turns around. We see the whole thing. It's omnipresent. We don't have to wonder. We go see. We know when we want to know what we want to know. We don't believe. We can see it all. We zoom in. Because the thing about the universe is that it's fractal. So the more you focus on any one given point in time and space, the more it expands. And that's how you go from looking at if it is a ball in the sky floating around, the ball Earth, to here. Because you zoom in. The detail was there here. It just don't look the same from that field of view. So when you are in enlightenment, you're talking to people about this who can't see it because to them, they so far away that it looks like this. I had someone poor mind, thinking they the shit because they a little sales coach, right? And when I speak truth to them, they get emotional. They don't like the truth. I wrote 6 books and I did this and I that. Well, all you need to be a good salesperson is the book Power vs. Force. All you did was take someone from a different emotional standpoint and move them to the emotion of acceptance. That's the simple damn equation. It's not rocket science. You're not, you know what I mean? I didn't have to tell you this, but you were acting so whatever, that I had to let you know. I support your ass not because you're a guru, but because I want to see you succeed. Don't sit around me and think that you're the shit because I support you, because you don't even understand the level that I'm on or why I'm doing it. So now your ego all fucked up thinking, Posh is supporting you. I'm supporting the community through you. But if you ain't got the right mentality, I don't need to do that, because it's a poor representation to the community. Then they call me. Oh, they asked me a question about, because I sent them some text like, yo, this is what I expect from you. So then the first thing they said when I was done speaking was, They called me and asked a question, and they only talked for 15. This is literally what they said. They said, I called you to ask a question, and I only spoke for 15 seconds. And then you spoke for 6 minutes. I said, well, that was a very powerful 15 seconds for you. And the answer to your question that you asked in those 15 seconds took me 6 minutes to give you clarity on, from decades of experience, to satisfy your decades of ignorance. So don't complain to me about it took 6 minutes. But see, that just proved that when you're enlightened, you see things differently. So their purpose, their intent was not to get the answer to the question. Their purpose was to have me feel like I shared something with them and they received it, so that then they could share with me what they really wanted to tell me all along. So instead of coming out and just being a man and saying, this is what I want you to know, no, it was like, hey, let me ask you this question so that when I tell you this, you can be receptive to it. I don't need debate. I don't need debate. I don't need debate. The truth is A, B, C, and D. And you know what? It wouldn't have been such a bad thing. I accepted for value regardless, right? But the reason it didn't add any value is because what they told me was all emotional beliefs. They didn't tell me anything that was true. In response to that, they just told me how they felt. And then when they tell me how they felt about words that they don't know the words mean, and then they felt some type of way because you say, you use the word ignorant, when ignorant means you're not paying attention to, you don't know. So what does a coach do? A coach coaches people on what they aren't paying attention to. That's what the fuck a coach does, dumbass. Don't come to me talking about your emotional bullshit because you don't know fucking English. But I'm the bad guy and I don't give a fuck if that's how you feel, because if you want to stay in that role when I give you the opportunity to grow, then stay there. Then be the fertilizer, because we're gonna grow shit around you. So yes, the truth was what I said it was, and I stand on what I say because I only speak the truth, or else I'll tell you I don't fucking know. I don't come to nobody with emotional bullshit. So don't come to me with it. This is the problem with society. They have emotional attachments to beliefs and they don't know shit. Then they want you to participate in their fucking insanity, or they're gonna judge you and talk to you about what's wrong with you when they don't fucking know nothing. They don't know what they don't know. I'll just put it like that. So he gets to the point and he's like, he's repeating what I'm saying in disbelief. And that's cool. I accept it for value. Like, he's shocked that I'm just being true about the matter, right? But the reality is, it is disbelief. It is his disbelief. It is not his belief, because his belief ain't the truth. So I accept that you're in disbelief, because the word disbelief means it's not your belief. And I know that because that's why I told you the truth instead of what you fucking believed. You're not wasting my time. I got the view from the moon, fella. I zoomed in on you. I know where you at. I accepted where you at. I didn't fault you, judge you, or anything. I understood that you are mentally not competent on the level that I am, but I did not judge you. I offered you the opportunity to understand and comprehend something that you have obviously no idea about. But you saw me as the bad guy for wanting to empower you because your ignorance, you're on the 6th floor penthouse thinking you the shit. Mentally, like I showed you earlier in the video. It's just like people who go to work or have an office, right? They all have the same complaints and I gotta get ready to go. You know what I mean? It's things that happens, like the office noise, the office distraction. Oh, I hate the commute. spending all this money doing A, B, C, and D. It means I got to do this, that, and the other to maintain this. A decrease in productivity because all this other shit's going on, and stress because you got to go be around people or be around this or go and sit in traffic. And it's fucking, when you learn what a toxic workplace is, you might say to yourself, how do I build my life around not having to be involved with that shit? But then when you do that, people want to talk crazy about you, like, oh, we ain't seen you outside. Because I'm trying to build some fucking shit and I can do it from home. Because I realize that shit is that shit's dumb. I'm inside and around the world at the same time. It takes you 2 hours to get to a meeting across town and back. I'm in California in 20 seconds. I'm in London right now if I want to be. You talking about you on a flight. I led teams in Tennessee, Virginia, DC, North Carolina, South Carolina at the same time from home. I speak to people from experience, but they don't know the view. They can't relate. So I want you to consider these 4 bullet points that I put in the description, and I'm going to leave you. How different emotions affect decision-making and behavior. What's the role to self-awareness and emotional intelligence in personal and professional relationships? The impact of positive emotions on overall well-being and happiness. And what's the strategies for raising one's conscious level and cultivating higher emotional states? Sometimes I'm on here and I'm talking to you, you don't know I'm in pain. Sometimes I'm on here, I'm talking to you, I'm in a meeting, you don't know what's going on with Pasha. Because when you the strong, and everybody's used to you being the strong, the one they come to for everything, nobody stops to ask you, are you okay? Pasha Paro, Why That 7. Thank you for